Everyone, welcome back to another video. This one's a little bit of an update. Quite a lot's happened since our last update video. Been a bit windy, a bit rainy, a bit tree falling over-y.
Yeah, so this is your post-cyclone update from the Great Emigrate.
We're still here, we're alive.
Sorry we haven't been producing a lot of content over the last couple of weeks, but life has definitely been busy. I think mentally the cyclone was draining. There was so much preparation leading up to it.
Yeah.
So we were waiting for so long for it to come, and you're constantly trying to keep your food reserves topped up, your water reserves, preparing for loss of power. It's insane.
It's like it's coming, it'll be here in a minute, it's coming. You're like just waiting and waiting.
Yeah, and then post-cyclone we were dealing with a lot of damage in the gardens. There were a lot of bushes and trees that had come down and chopping them up. And we had some beautiful frangipani trees in the garden, and unfortunately there were 2 casualties there. So we don't do much gardening. We thought it would be easy to just pop them back up
just lift it back up, but Jesus, they are heavy.
Yeah, so apparently they're just full of water. Luckily, some of our neighbours and us who were on our community WhatsApp group, so we reached out to some of them, and we had a nice neighbour. Met a lot of new neighbours that we've never seen before during the cyclone, but they helped us prop it back up. We're not really confident that it's gonna...
No, we've kind of like kept in touch with the realtor and said, look, you know, this kind of dying. We've done our best, we've put it back up. They're all like pretty grateful that we've made the effort.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think as we've given it a couple of weeks, there's bits that are dying, so we'll ask the question, which is probably a good tip, like for anything, if you're renting over here, just keep in contact with your realtor about damage and stuff.
Yeah, definitely take photos as well. We had a little bit of damage to our fence where the neighbour's tree had fell on it, and obviously the damage to the trees, but I think all in all we were quite lucky. You know, that was the only bit of damage. There wasn't any sort of internal flooding or anything, so yeah, I think we were all pretty lucky. It has been the aftermath of the cyclone, and you know, when you're all cooped up in the house together for days because you can't really leave, house becomes a bomb site inside as well.
Then the power went out while we were in cycling. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you got sick, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about your experience with A&E?
Yeah, so turned out I had conjunctivitis in this eye. It kind of flared up a little bit and got a bit better, and then it proper went aggressive on a Sunday night. So like, okay, not really sure what to do over here. Does it really count as an emergency? I was like, nah, it'll be okay, I'll go to the doctors in the morning. But you're like, no, I think you should ring the health number, 1-300 health maybe.
Can't remember. In UK there's like an equivalent that I think is NHS Direct, so instead of calling emergency, you know, if it's out of normal
It's
hours.
like a triage thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so just googled it. There's a similar thing here, so you called it and they
ask you a lot of questions about what's this, have you anything hit your eye and stuff like that. So I've answered the questions, and they suggested I go to my local emergency room. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good. So yeah,
you did have blurry vision.
Yeah, it was proper, like it really hurt when I was blinking, and it was just not very comfortable. So yeah, we made the quick trip to Redlands Hospital.
Took about 2 minutes.
Yeah, literally you go there. The people that live in Australia know the deal, but for us it was a whole new experience compared to the UK, where it's just chaos, isn't it? So
yeah, usually when you have to go to A&E out of hours where we live, you first of all have to pay for car parking. Now you can pay for car parking at this hospital, but honestly there's so much free parking surrounding it. Why would you? Which is not the case in UK. So that was the first real difference. We could literally park right outside the hospital for free and walked in. And then what happened as you walked in?
Yeah, so I was like literally just giving the receptionist like my details, and I said, look, I've just rang the health number, and they said to come and see you. And as I was telling the lady this, doctor or nurse or whatever they call them grabbed me and like literally torching my eye. I'm still trying to give details to the lady, and took me in the room, and like
I'm panicking. I'm like,
I was like, wow, this is
okay, what's going on
this
here?
is like proper quick. So what's going on? Dragged me around the back and did blood pressure and all this other stuff, still giving details, got my little bracelet, and then yeah, they kind of took Medicare and all that stuff, ID.
Yeah.
And then you just had to kind of sit and wait. I thought that was going to be quite quick that we're going to go in and see, but no, it's just literally make sure I wasn't going to die, I think, quite quickly. Then, I mean, yeah, I can get that. I wasn't really a life-threatening situation. I think we were there, what, 2 hours?
Yeah, it was a Sunday evening, 2 hours. Gave our Medicare details, or they already knew our Medicare details and Bupa. I'm not sure about other states, but here in Queensland, if it's an emergency and you have a reciprocal agreement, you do not pay for your treatment in A&E. We also had prescription, which we didn't pay for.
Yeah, so they did all the tests. They put an orange dye in my eye and looked at my eye, make sure it wasn't like damaged and stuff like that. And then yeah, got some drops and some cream, and yeah, he signed me off work. Obviously, I need my eyesight for my job and driving. I haven't driven for almost a week, so yeah, I got the prescription medicine. Yeah, it was pretty good, really, wasn't it, I think. Apart from it was a long night, and yeah, I was getting a bit tired towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, the wait was no worse than we would wait for in the UK. And when we called the helpline before you went to the A&E, if that was England, you'd be waiting an hour for them to pick up the phone, and then you'd probably be waiting another 2 hours for them to call you back. They picked up immediately. They told you to go to hospital immediately. All of that was super amazing, and
Really good.
I think it's very similar to, I don't think we've talked about it before, but when I had a scan here and I had to go back in 6 months, coming from England, there's normally a waiting list of a minimum 6 months. So you're calling up to try and book your appointment in advance. When I tried to do that here, they were like, no, we don't book that far ahead. Like, yeah, you need to call back in 5 months. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, just like the week before or something, which is odd.
So yeah, the healthcare system here is so good.
Yeah,
And
it's so good.
yeah, I mean, we have private healthcare and we have Medicare, and we're really lucky, but I mean, it just highlights how poor the NHS system is in
It's
the
just
UK.
been flogged, and it's flogged to death.
Yeah, it's
Even
not sustainable. It's just abused and overused, and not enough people put in and too many people take out, and that's the truth at the end of the day. But here, you know, great system, great doctors. The doctor that treated you, he was actually also here on a 482. He was Scottish.
Yeah, hadn't been here long, had he?
No, he'd only been here a few months. So, yeah.
Maybe he watches the channel, we don't know.
He was really good though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I couldn't fault it. It was really good service. And so here we are, almost a week later. I can be a lot better.
Yeah. So post-cyclone, some treatment in A&E. What other things have we been up to? We are heading back to the UK shortly. We've had to get new bridging visas. We're doing a separate video about that for anybody else that might be applying for can be here on a temporary visa, needing to head back to UK or wherever else. Yeah, we didn't really know about that, so we wanted to let others know about it just in case, and look out for that video. The other thing we've been really actively doing is we've been keeping on top of our gym membership. So we're going to the gym at least 4 times a week.
We're keeping up, which is good.
Yeah, definitely noticed a difference in, I don't know about you, but personally I feel like stronger, fitter. I can see I've lost weight, so really happy with that.
You know, it's helped. We've obviously got first game of the season coming up this weekend, hopefully, as long as it doesn't rain off.
We were able to pause our gym membership for when we aren't here, so that was really good. But also weirdly thinking about taking gym clothes and trainers back to UK with us, which I've never done ever.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think that'd be a thing for you, but yeah, really proud of you. You've done really well. Stick to it.
I know, but yeah, I think we're going to be away for like a couple of weeks, so we're going to miss that exercise, and I think it's good for you mentally as well.
Yeah, it's trying to get your head to get to the gym, and it's once you're there, it's all good. It's just the battle of getting there, but that's all good. So yeah, that was kind of it really. It's been a busy kind of 2 weeks really, just trying to get life back to normal again, getting over things, getting the house straight again, getting the garden cleared up. One good thing, we had a neighbour's tree fell over in their property. A couple of neighbours had chainsaws, they took care of that, and Rachel came the other day and picked it all up, which was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good. So I didn't have to worry about that. and you got yourself a new lawnmower as well, didn't you?
Yep, treat myself to a new petrol one, which made a lot of difference. I had a friend from work give me his old one, and it was just a struggle, so we actually bit the bullet and bought a petrol lawnmower, and yeah, it's surprising if you get a new one how easier it is now. So it takes about half the time, better job. So yeah, there we go. I didn't think I'd come to it that I get a petrol lawnmower.
Okay, so yeah, it was just a quick update to let you know what's been going on and where we've been. We'll try and be a bit more active on socials and YouTube. We've still got our competition going on at our Instagram page. The handle is The Great Emigrate. We're very close to 1,000 followers on there now, and we're giving away an Amazon voucher to anybody based in any country. Once we hit that 1,000 followers, we'll pick a follower who's followed all of the rules on the post. It's pinned to the top of the page, so if you're not already following the Instagram page, please give it a follow.
Free to enter.
Join along. And yeah, we appreciate all of our viewers on YouTube as well. Thank you for all of your comments and all of your views. And if you have liked this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube page, and
see you in the next one.